On this reading test item, we see that it's a long item, but the first trap we will not fall into is we are not going to read that passage first. That might turn out to be a waste of time. So instead, we're going to go ahead now, and we are going to read the questions and circle the keywords. Now, why should sharp knives be loaded into the dishwasher pointed downward? Keywords: why sharp knives pointed down. Next question. The instructions specifically say that cups 24 ounces or larger should be placed on the bottom rack of the dishwasher. Cups 24 ounces or larger should be placed on the bottom rack of the dishwasher. What is the most logical reason? What most logical reason? Let's go to the next questions for this section. Why must a special sponge with a non-scratch scrubbing side be used, not with a non-scratch scrubbing side be used on the stove? Once again, a why question. Why a special sponge with a non-scratch scrubbing side on the stove? Next, why must cast iron skillets be dried completely? Why cast iron skillets dried completely? Now notice I'm circling, I'm putting squares, I'm underlining, just so that as I read it, my attention is drawn to the most important words. Finally, number 5. Although loading the dishwasher is among the first tasks to be completed, the author does not say to start the dishwasher until after counter, stove, and sink are cleaned. What is a possible reason for this? A lot of words, but the key words I would say are, we would start here. Does not say start until after cleaning. And the key points are, what is a possible reason? Now, we've looked at all 5 choices. Now we can go back to the passage. So I'll go back 2 screens, 3 screens. Now, as I go through, I'm just going to go ahead and read, and I'm going to underline those things that pop out in my head. Kitchen cleaning instructions by Amanda Thornton. To properly clean this kitchen, 1, gather all dishes, cookware, and utensils stacked to the left of the sink. 2, rinse the sponge off stuck-on foods before loading the dishes in the dishwasher. Run the garbage disposal as needed. 3, load glass and cup to the left, 2 rows of top right. Here's something. Put 24-ounce or larger cups on the bottom rack. Just going to underline it for now and keep moving. Load bowls from smallest to largest in a straight line on the far right of the top rack. Load plates, all sizes except small coffee saucers, in the front, bottom of either side of the utensil rack. Load utensils in utensil rack, reserving the biggest opening for sippy cup tops and large items. Make sure sharp knives are pointed down. Here's another one. Load larger cookware and serving bowls on bottom, but if the racks don't slide closed easily, either reload or hand wash that item. The big blacks, now at this point, I'm beginning to notice that this is not a very detailed piece. It's not giving me details that lead to answers. It's detailed in the sense that it has a lot of words. Now at this point, I'm going to understand on this particular question, it's probably going to be okay to skim and find the rest of the clues. So with number 8, I'm reading. I don't see anything that was familiar from the questions. Number 9, nothing familiar from the question, so I'm not going to take the time to read closely. Number 10, do not wash cast iron skillets. This is a clue that is very familiar. Do not wash cast iron skillets, and I can even see why. Dry immediately because iron plus water equals rust. Let's keep moving. Counters with a clean white rag, not critical. Look, scrub the glass stovetop using this sponge with a non-scratch scrubbing side. Very important because we recognize that from the questions. Use glass clothes cleaner, sure to dry it, wipe off the range hood. Next one, wipe off the outside of the microwave. Don't forget the steamer. Clean out the sink. Start the dishwasher. Move all the bar stools and sweep or vacuum the floor. Put items that don't belong in the kitchen where they go, or have owner come and get it, and throw cleaning cloths down the laundry chute. Now, we didn't have to read this in great detail, which can be a time saver. On the next step, we're going to read the question very carefully, and we're going to think about it and find it in the passage. Now, why should sharp knives be loaded into the dishwasher pointing down? Quickly, we're going to review in the passage, and here was our number 1 clue. It just says, make sure sharp knives are pointed down, but it doesn't tell why. So we're going to use our reasoning. We know that that's not a detailed question. To keep the blade shiny is a possibility because it is a dishwasher. To keep them consistent with other utensils, this doesn't really make a lot of sense as to explain why. And once again, shiny was what we're looking for. C, to keep their handles from coming in contact with other utensils doesn't seem like an important thing for a dishwasher. To keep them from cutting a person's hand when loading the rest of the dishes or unloaded later. This seems like an important detail. So now we have a 50-50 chance of getting this correct, and it seems the more important thing is keeping from cutting your hand rather than keeping the blade shiny. So I'm going to eliminate A, and you choose choice D. Next question. The instructions specifically say that cups 24 ounces or larger should be placed on the bottom rack of the dishwasher, and it says, what's the most logical reason for this? So I'm going back to the passage now. This is our clue for number 2. Put 24 ounce or larger cups on the bottom rack. No clues beyond this, so we're going to go to the passage, go to the question, and use logical reasoning. On the question, it says, what's the logical reason for putting the 24 ounce cups on the bottom rack of the dishwasher? So let's figure it out. These cups are more fragile. Probably not. 24 ounce cups tend to be plastic rather than glass. Or the fact that they are larger doesn't make them more fragile. These cups contain more liquid. True, they will contain more liquid, but that's not really a good reason to put them on the bottom of the rack. So more fragile is something we got rid of. More liquid is something that didn't really seem to make a lot of sense. These cups do not match the smaller cups in style. There was nothing we saw that had to do with style in washing dishes, so we're going to eliminate C also. These cups are either too tall or too wide for the top rack. This answer seems to make the most sense. They're too tall, 24 ounce or larger, so they're either too tall or too wide. Makes sense. And on the top rack, one would imagine that smaller dishes would go there. So our best answer is probably going to be D. Let's go to the next question. On this next question, why must a special sponge with a non-scratch scrubbing side be used on the stove? Let's go back to the passage here. And here we are. Here's our clue for number 3. Scrub the glass stovetop using the sponge with its non-scratch scrubbing side. Now, I'm noticing that it said a glass stovetop using the sponge with a non-scratch scrubbing side. And it also says use glass stove cleaner so you don't leave streaks, but the streaks have to do with the cleaner. But they said non-scratch scrubbing side, probably because it's glass. Let's go back to the question and see. Now, the stove top is shiny, probably, but that shouldn't affect the non-scratch scrubbing side. The stove top is glass would make sense. You don't want to scratch it. The stove top is scratchy. This is probably one of those choices just kind of silly we can get rid of. The stove top is very dirty. Non-scratch scrubbing side, it could be this. But I'm going to conclude that B is probably our best answer for this item. We'll take a short break.